What's up you guys, and welcome back to my channel. For those that are new here, hi, my name is Rochelle and I like to make beauty and thrifting videos. For today's video, I am doing a first impressions on the brand new Wet n Wild Photofocus stick foundations. I picked this up in two different shades. I wasn't really sure which color I would be. I got the color Classic Ivory and Buff Beige. So I figured I would just try them out on my face for the first time today. I was really torn about if I wanted to purchase this. I felt like I had seen some really good reviews on YouTube and also some really bad ones. So at first I didn't think I was going to pick it up, but then I saw several good reviews in a row that people just really liked the way that it buffed out, said it was a really nice finish and really beautiful on the skin. So I did decide to pick it up. Let's just go over some of the information on these foundations. This foundation is $5.99. It comes in 21 different shades. It says it delivers a long-lasting coverage, is lightweight, and has a flawless semi-matte finish. And it does contain argan and sunflower seed oils. I wasn't really sure what color I was going to be. I have been self-tanning, and so sometimes it is coming off and then sometimes it's nice and fresh. So I feel like in foundations I'm all over the place. But this is the color Classic Ivory. Right there. It does seem pretty creamy when putting it on. And then this one is Buff Beige. Honestly, as far as tone goes, I feel like they're pretty close in color. This one looks a little bit more orangey to me, and then this one looks a little bit more peachy. So for this one to be quite a few shades lighter, I don't really see all that much different as far as deepness goes, which is interesting to me. Classic Ivory does look slightly lighter, so I think that's the color I'm going to use today. Alright you guys, if you want to see what I think of this foundation as I am applying it, then go ahead and keep on watching. Alright, starting off, I got two different colors, the color Buff Beige and Classic Ivory. I'm not really sure which color I'm going to be today. I do have a little bit of self-tanner on, but it's kind of coming off at the moment. I'm guessing I'm still going to be Classic Ivory, even with self-tanner on. And I was thinking that Buff Beige would be when my self-tanner is kind of fresh and new. Starting off, let's see how much comes in here. So this is how much is in this stick. It's not bad. Where does it see how many ounces? It's 0.42 ounces. So I feel like that was a decent amount of product. I'm just gonna kind of do section by section as well. So starting off over here, I would say it's a little bit on the pink side for me, but we'll make it work. And going on, it does feel pretty smooth. I normally do like stick foundations just because I do have rather dry skin and I like my skin to look really moisturized, and for some reason like a cream foundation on my skin I just think makes me look very moisturized and I like the way it looks. So I usually do really like a cream foundation or a stick foundation. Just smoothing that out really quickly, it did like buff in really fast. It didn't take much effort for that to blend in at all. And it doesn't look super matte, but it also doesn't look like overly glowy. It looks kind of like a satin matte finish to me. What is this considered? Okay, yeah, so it does say it is a satin matte finish, which makes sense. I'm just going to build it up a little bit more. It definitely blends out really quickly. Something that I always love stick foundations for is when I am in a hurry and I don't want to take an hour on my makeup. I feel like stick foundations just really buff out quickly. So it's good for anyone that like works really early in the morning and they just want something that's really quick and easy. I do feel like I have to touch up stick foundations a little bit more than a regular liquid foundation. But for me, whenever I want something that I'm just going to go run errands or I have to be up very early and I don't have a lot of time in my morning, I like to use a stick foundation. I love the ColourPop stick foundation, and I also really like the Makeup Revolution stick foundation. And there was one from Amazon. I forget what it's called. It was like something rose. I liked the formula, but the color selection wasn't great. Normally I do really like my stick and cream foundations in general, just how they lay on my skin personally. I normally do end up really liking them. Also, if you guys are wondering what's on my eyes today, I am wearing the Bad Habit Athena palette. This is like the dupe for the Huda Beauty one. It's so pretty. I've been into wearing more color on my eyes lately, and so I've been really trying to push myself, and I do really like this eyeshadow look. So let me know if you want a tutorial on this look. I used all of this palette, but then I did take a black from a different palette and kind of just put it in that outer corner, but everything else was this palette. All right, looking at this foundation up close, it does look really nice. I feel like it does just have like a slight sheen to it, like a satin matte would. And I would say that it is a low full coverage to high medium coverage. I do still see a few of like my little freckles peeking out, which I don't mind at all. It did cover up any like blemishes and redness in my skin. I do still see some of my freckles peeking out, which I like. So just upon first putting it on and first impressions, I do think it looks really, really good. Taking my e.l.f. Camo Concealer in the color Medium Peach, I'm just going to place that right underneath my eyes. I'm gonna try to just do a minimal amount because I feel like I can get carried away with it really quickly. And I've been really into buffing out my concealer with this little brush from Real Techniques, and it's really nice and easy to get in any small kind of like under eye areas, super soft, and I just have been liking the way that my concealer has been blending out with a brush versus a beauty blender or a blending sponge. The concealer seems to be blending in nicely on top of the cream. Then using my Wet n Wild cream contour in the color Oaks on You, you guys, this has been loved and abused. It's squishing to the top of the cap's falling apart, all the writing is fallen off, but I love this thing. I just feel like these Wet n Wild cream formulas are really good, and I would say that the foundation is actually very similar in like consistency to this guy. And this is one of my favorites for cream bronzing and cream contouring. This is blending out pretty easily on top. Okay, I don't have anything on my brush, but I am going back in and I'm just going to blend the bronzer in a little bit better, just so there's no harsh lines. All right, you guys, going into powder bronzer, I am using this new e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer in the color Forever Sunkissed. It's just a good color. It's not too light and it's not too dark. It's pretty warm. I have been enjoying it. Sorry you guys, if I seem low energy in this video, I totally am. I have had so many cups of coffee today and nothing is helping me kind of get my energy up. I just got home from a weekend with friends. We went to Lake Tahoe and we just stayed up really late each night and I didn't get that much sleep and then got up really early each morning. And so I just feel very pooped. I feel like I'm very like as far as my energy levels go, but that is why. I actually did vlog while I was there, and so that should be coming in case you are interested in seeing me and my friends being total goons in the snow. For blush, I'm going into the e.l.f. Modern Metals palette. This is an extremely pigmented blush palette, you guys. Like, I have to barely tap into these colors or else I get carried away real quick. I think that this color is going to best suit my eye look. I don't know, what do you guys think? Yeah, I think I'm going to go in with this rosy one here. These guys are very pigmented. I feel like e.l.f. and Wet n Wild have been killing it the last few months. Like, Wet n Wild has so many new releases that are good, and so does e.l.f. For highlighter, I am just going to use this Wet n Wild loose highlighter in the color I'm So Lit. It's a really beautiful champagne-y color, but this stuff is intense, so you have to really be light-handed with this because you can get carried away quick. Whoa, see, you guys, I didn't tap off the edge of my brush like I should have, and I have like a stripe. So I just am gonna go in and really buff this into the skin. So I'm just working it in and it's buffing out just fine. All right, now that I've highlighted everywhere, for lip, I'm going to use this Bite Beauty matte lip crayon in the color Glace. Just a really nice mauve. All right, you guys, I'm just gonna go back into my Athena palette, finish up my lower lash line, put on some mascara and probably black liner, and I will be right back to look at this foundation close up and give you guys my final thoughts as far as the foundation goes. I am back. As far as my final thoughts on this foundation, I do think it looks really, really nice, just quickly buffed into my skin. All the other products really worked into the cream foundation, which I really, really like. I'm curious to see how long lasting this foundation is if it does start to break up. Usually I do get a little bit of breakup near my nose and like right around my pore areas. Sometimes I do get a little greasy there, but that is pretty typical for me. I just like the way that it kind of has like a soft luminosity, even with the powders put on top. I feel like it really buffed out quickly, and for $5, I really, really liked it. This is definitely a foundation that I am excited to continue using to see if I really, really like it. Like I said earlier, some of those other stick foundations are my absolute favorite, especially if I am in a big hurry. I just think it looks really, really nice. The color match was okay. I'll have to try out the buff beige color once I have done my self tanner and I am a little bit darker. What do you guys think? Do you think it looks decent on the skin? Do you guys usually like cream or stick foundations, or is that something that you guys usually steer away from? It's definitely a yes from me, just off of first impressions. I would let you guys know in a future video if I have any other opinions or anything else has changed for me. Just any other insights in general that I may have after using it a little longer. All right, you guys, I think that is it for this video. Let me know if you guys like foundation reviews, first impressions, if you guys ended up picking up this foundation yourself. I'm curious to know. I almost want to go back and get the contour colors and see how they compare. I almost picked up one of the darker ones for a cream contour, and just the way that it buffs out really nicely on the skin and kind of has that like soft satin matte finish, I think would be really, really good. So I might go back to my local drugstore and pick up another color just for a bit of bronzing. But yeah, I think that that's about it for this video. I love you guys. I hope you guys are doing very, very well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!